How we doing, YouTube? Stevie here. It is February the 4th. A little after 10 up here in Michigan, getting unloaded. And I just thought I'd do a quick video on some self-driving truck information I stumbled across. We've heard stories that they kind of been around a little bit. UPS was trying some electric trucks and maybe some automated stuff, and anyway, you've seen a little bit of stuff out and around. I come across a story where I seen it on Fox News, and then I looked it up a couple other different places. Self-driving trucks in the Permian Basin in Texas, hauling sand. It's a joint venture between Kodiak Robotics and Aurora Innovation. And actually, I'm going to take that back. I don't know if it's a 75-mile loop or they said they had 75 trucks doing it. I'll have to double check that. But they're hauling sand in those oil fields. But they're on regular highways. They're not just like off-road. They're on regular highways. And for those of us who have said, oh, it'll be a long time before we get self-driving trucks, we don't have to worry about that. And, you know, you come up with these reasons of the safety factors and the costs and the what if it runs into somebody, who's going to unhook, how's it going to be able to back into a door. I think the incentive for these trucking companies, and not just the trucking companies, but shippers and receivers in general, the cost advantages that they can get by pushing this technology, I don't know if we as drivers fully appreciate. Let's look at just a couple little things. Hours of service. I'm making a delivery today, and I was late for it, which is always bad. And it's a food service place, Myers, which is even worse when you're late. Not that Myers is bad particularly because you're late, but because the way these cross docks and these things work, they schedule everything so tight. If you miss your slot, you're kind of at their mercy, and sometimes they have none, which is kind of the position I'm in today. And the reason I was late, I wasn't very far from my receiver when I shut down, and I had enough time to get to the receiver. The problem is that my appointment was at 6 o'clock this morning. I got here last night at 8, 9 o'clock, or not very far away, but I had to take a 10-hour break in the middle to get my hours back for today, so it made me late. Well, the only reason to tell you that part of the story is to tell you this. If a truck drives itself, you don't have hours of service to deal with if you're either the trucking company or the shippers and receivers. So you never have to worry about your 10-hour breaks, 34-hour resets, just on the hours of service part. Look at the savings that's going to give these companies. Secondly, a truck driver, let's say it costs you $70,000 a year for a truck driver. By the time you pay for his wages, pay for the taxes, workman's comp, help pay for some of his insurance. If he's not a brand new driver, which then your insurance is going to be higher, but if he's not a brand new driver, I would guess that it would be pretty easy to get into those numbers for the driver. If you're in a union situation like a UPS or something like that, then it was probably quite a bit more than that cost for the driver. So you start looking at those numbers, that adds a lot of incentive to eliminate the driver as quickly as possible. The other thing to look at is return on investment of the equipment. Right now, a piece of equipment, let's say it's a $200,000 truck, is not operating at peak efficiency because it has to deal with the driver's hours of service and vacations and sick time and all of that kind of thing. So of a 24-hour day, if everything runs perfect, the truck's only going to run 10, 11, 12 hours a day. And the rest of the time it's going to sit. A self-driving truck will run 24 hours a day, no service, no hours of service to deal with, just doing its thing. No holidays, no weekends, just doing its thing. Look at that. Now that $200,000 truck is going to generate, not only from the savings of the driver will pay for the whatever added cost there is for the automation, the efficiency that truck, in terms of just piece of equipment and their return on their investment. For every one truck they own that's autonomous is going to be like owning two trucks that are self-driving. And when it gets to a dock, and I think this is where it's going to really get interesting, where we might not be appreciating how fast this is going to move into our industry. The way they're going to start structuring this freight system, it's going to be a lot different, in my opinion. And the most common job for a truck driver, other than your local kind of work, well, it very well may be all primarily local work. They'll just hire drivers to go from maybe a yard or something, maybe to a receiver or a shipper. Or the truck will just come to a shipper, pull into a drop lot situation, and then they'll have a fella making $20 an hour, $15 an hour, who knows what. He'll unhook the trailer. The spotter will come hook up to that trailer and take it to the whatever door they want it to be in. And they'll hook that power unit back up to another trailer and send it back on its way. Or maybe the truck will just back itself. They'll have a guy that comes for $15 an hour and swings the doors. It's going to change. It's going to change, and I think it's going to change a lot more quickly than we realize. But that's just my thoughts. You guys leave a comment and see what you guys think about these trucks and what you're seeing out there on the webs and what you guys' opinion. I think our industry, I bet our industry looks a whole lot different in less than 5 years, and I bet in 10 years we won't even recognize it. But those are my thoughts. See what you guys think. God bless. We'll talk again soon, and hope everybody has a great week. God bless.